Hi, my name is Tia Johnson, and the method I'm doing my PowerPoint on is functional job analysis. So what is functional job analysis? It is based on the premise that whatever workers do, they do in relation to one of three aspects of work. The first aspect is data, and according to the textbook, data represents information, knowledge, and concepts. Examples would be numbers, words, or blueprints. Number two, people. People represent the amount and type of contact with people. Things are tangible. And number three, things. Things are tangible, inanimate objects used on the job, such as sacks of cement, blown glass figures, or even computers. Functions within these three aspects could be arranged in a hierarchy of complexity from simple to complex. This is done in such a way that each functional level in the hierarchy includes those below it and excludes those above it. The performance assessment is based on how an employee relates to these areas in terms of mental interaction, thinking, interpersonal skills, teamwork, and physical functioning environment. There are a total of 3 systems and 7 skills. Those systems are Department of Labor, Dr. Sidney Fine's Functional Job Analysis, and Job Information Matrix System. But the textbook only covers the first 2 systems. And then there are 7 scales: things, data, people, worker instructions, reasoning, math, and language. So, the purpose of functional job analysis. It was originally developed by the Employee and Training Administration of the United States Department of Labor, DOL, and then it was also developed by Dr. Sidney Fine at the W.E. Upjohn Institute for Employment Research. It was originally meant to improve job placement and counseling for workers registering for employment in local employment offices. Then it became part of an intensive research program directed toward producing the 1965 edition of the Dictionary of Occupational Titles, short for DOT. The functional job analysis is a systems approach for understanding work. The system is conceptualized as consisting of 3 components: the worker, the work, and the work setting. And even though FJ's primary focus is on tasks, it also provides substantial information about worker characteristics and worker conditions. So here is the compare and contrast of the 2 systems: Department of Labor's Functional Job Analysis and Dr. Sidney Fine's Functional Job Analysis. So the Department of Labor's include a number of worker attributes that are actually not included in Dr. Fine's Functional Job Analysis, such as temperaments and environmental conditions. Dr. Fine's functional job analysis distinguishes not only the level of complexity of the function, but also the orientation or level of involvement with the function. And when I mean orientation, I'm referring to the percentage of a task occupied by a particular function. So, for example, if a social worker were explaining to a client why the client should dress appropriately for a job interview, the orientations might be 35% data, 60% people, and 5% things. Dr. Fine's system focuses on the task rather than the job. And this is an advantage because focusing on the job requires fewer judgments to be made, and therefore only one rating of complexity for each function must be made. Dr. Fine's version acknowledges the contribution of both worker and organizational variables to work efficiently, productivity, and worker growth. It includes ratings of orientations as well. Now, both of these systems help the job analysis understand, document, and communicate the behavioral content of a job. And when I mean behavioral content, I mean that is how workers achieve the goals inherent in the job. They also both have specific grammar to describe their tasks. So how does this work? It is data collection through group interviews or questionnaires, reviewing records and literature. The specific grammar used in Department of Labor's functional job analysis is as follows. The statement always begins with a verb which says what gets done. The subject, the worker, is implied rather than stated. The verb is usually followed by an immediate object, what is it done to? And finally, an optional infinitive phrase follows. The phrase describes how the action is accomplished and or why the action is accomplished. The structure of Dr. Fine's system is that the basic structure can be defined by a series of questions, and then the answers to the series of questions forms the task statement. So, an example of the Department of Labor functional job analysis. Let's say our job was professional animal trainer. The description would be trains wild animals such as lions, tigers, bears, and elephants to perform tricks for entertainment of audience at circus or other exhibition, evaluating ability, behavior, and performance on each animal. And then the optional infinitive phrase that would go after that is originates acts based on performance of animals. An example of Dr. Fine's functional job analysis, here are the series of questions that I spoke about. So it'll be who performs what actions, to whom or what, upon what instructions or sources of information, using what tools, equipment, or work aids, and to produce, achieve what output. The advantages of the functional job analysis is that it's one of the premier and most established system of a job analysis methods in IO psychology and HR. The nature of a job analysis is that it defines by the functions, subfunctions, activities, and tasks, as well as the functional requirements of each task. And then all of this is in relation to data, people, things, reasoning, math, language, worker instructions, performance, standards, and training content. And so, like I said, they both have specific grammar used for each system. They both are well-rounded, informational and task orientation and level involvement. Functional job analysis is simple to use and expandable. Allow for cross-job comparisons as opposed to just specific jobs. And then it's practical, it's high in reliability, and it tries to provide a fixed starting point, like the first step in job analysis, where you have to come up with all the original information. So that's an advantage of the functional job analysis. Disadvantages could be that it's costly, it's time-consuming, labor-intensive, and simplicity of its scales and rating activity. Issues and concerns are standardization and off-shelf.